and good evening for the third time. We're going to give this another shot here. Having all sorts of internet problems today, but we'll see what happens. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor. It's currently Monday, almost 25 after 7 right now, on June 22nd. And we're going to give this another try and to do today's daily recap of events that affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. And the thought for today is COVID in sports in 2020. And we'll get to that in just a few minutes, assuming that our internet connection and the rest of the tech is okay. Right now, I want to touch base on the current number of COVID cases again. Right now, 2,300,000 cases right now diagnosed in the U.S. That's up basically 85.5 thousand cases from Friday when we spoke last. The deaths right now in the U.S. are 120,271. That's up basically another 1,900 people, or 1,200 people that have passed away since we spoke last on Friday evening around 7 o'clock. Again, my apologies, we're running out of time here. New York is the number one state. They've been number one for quite a while. Right now, their cases are 388,000 cases right now. They've picked up another 1,900 cases over the weekend. Their deaths in New York are 31,168. That's 153 people have died over the weekend in New York State. I had mentioned this before. New Jersey dropped from the number 2 spot. California has taken that number 2 spot right now with the highest number of cases in the U.S., the second highest number of cases. Right now, California has 179,000 cases. And right now, the total deaths are 5,525,000 people have died. New Jersey's got the number 3 spot, okay, which is nice for them. They finally dropped out of there. Illinois is the number 4 spot. And Texas comes in at number 5 right now. Okay, number 6 is Massachusetts. So Texas has risen up a little bit now because, again, one of those southern states. Florida is at number 7, again, moving up from where they were before. Pennsylvania has dropped down to number 8 because there's 2 southern states. Florida and Texas are moving up right now. Number 9 is Michigan. However, number 10 is Georgia. Again, so you get 3 southern states basically that have moved up. And again, this is not a second wave. Okay, this is the first wave that hasn't hit them yet. It's hitting them now. Okay, it hit New York a month and a half ago. New York and New Jersey have things pretty much under control at this point in time. People are still dying. There's still more cases, but they're relatively under control. They're reopening cautiously and with social distancing and with masks, and they're hoping for a good result. Other states have opened a little bit more recklessly and not quite as concerned with social distancing and wearing masks. And their cases are starting to spike right now. And again, it's the southern and the western states that are picking up the cases right now. And they weren't really ready for that. They weren't expecting it because they thought they were immune to things. Now, this is happening as all 50 states have reopened. The chances for a vaccine ready for widespread use before the end of the year are really basically slim to none. It doesn't matter what the president's got to say about it at this point in time. He doesn't control the science on that. However, over the weekend, 6 members of President Donald Trump's advance team preparing for his Tulsa rally that kicked off on Saturday evening tested positive for coronavirus. Okay, that was according to his own election committee. Now, the novel thing is, as of today, an additional 2 people tested positive for a total of 8 right now in his advance committee, his advance team. Now, as per safety precautions and protocols, campaign staff are tested for COVID before events. 6 members of the advance team tested positive out of hundreds of tests performed, and quarantine procedures were immediately implemented. However, they were already out there for a while. They got tested before the event. Okay, and that's according to the communication director for the campaign. Now, no COVID positive staffers or anyone in immediate contact will be at today's rally or near attendees and elected officials, as previously announced. all rally attendees are given temperature checks before going through security, at which point they are given wristbands, face mask, and hand sanitizer. Whether they use those things or not is a totally different situation. Now, a source familiar with the matter said the staffers have been on the ground for about a week now, okay, have not been wearing masks, and have been going out to restaurants. Again, you got advanced staff, and they go out, and you got Secret Service people. They're checking the security issues, okay, making sure everything's ready to go, and they're there a good week ahead of time, like they just announced a week ahead of time, and they weren't wearing masks, they weren't social distancing, and they're going out to local restaurants. Now, the source says the Trump campaign is now doing contact tracing. What a surprise! Of the 6 members of the advance team who tested positive for coronavirus ahead of the Tulsa rally, at least 2 of them were Secret Service agents. And the additional 2 from today, I believe, were also Secret Service agents. Now, the news follows reports that leading members of the coronavirus task force, including White House health advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci, warned the White House officials about the health risks of holding a large-scale indoor campaign rallies. Now, the Trump campaign chose to proceed with the event, claiming that the attendees assume a personal risk and that it's just part of life. Now, you have to remember, attendees were required to sign a waiver before getting tickets to begin with, acknowledging that they would not sue in the event, they wouldn't sue the organizers or the event if they got COVID. They wouldn't sue the campaign either. Now, the Trump campaign said it would be doing temperature checks for attendees and providing them with masks and hand sanitizers upon entry, but did not indicate whether social distancing measures would really be implemented, and said that wearing masks would be optional. And if you watched any of the coverage, you saw that. Okay, Trump's rally in Tulsa had reportedly, pre-ticketed close to 1 million people. Okay. They were expected to pack almost 20,000 people inside the Bank of Oklahoma Convention Center. And they had also set up an outside overflow venue because they were expecting such a large crowd, didn't expect everybody to be able to fit in. So they're going to do an event afterwards outside for the people who didn't have tickets that couldn't get in. However, the outside overflow area was quickly broke down before the event, when only just under 7,000 people actually showed up. Now, more than 10,000 people have already tested positive in Oklahoma, and at least 368 people have already died. The Tulsa Health Department declined to comment specifically on the rally, but said in a statement that Tulsa Health Department is really concerned about the safety of any large gathering of people enclosed in these special spaces, where social distancing is really difficult to maintain. Now, if you saw the videos at all of any of this stuff, you saw what happened. The arena was nowhere near full. Tons of empty seats all over the place. They jammed everybody next to each other in the lower areas so it didn't look too bad for the cameras. However, when you got a wider shot, the upper areas were completely empty. Now concerns were also raised about the event's timing and location, since Tulsa, Oklahoma was the location of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, in which white mobs killed black residents and destroyed black-owned businesses. It was probably the first time that the U.S. bombed its own cities. They had basically Black Wall Street there. You had black business owners put together a well-to-do situation, and they were bombed. They had planes flying over, dropping bombs into this area. Mobs came in, white mobs came in, and just burned it down. And that's part of Juneteenth. It commemorates the end of slavery in the U.S. because, lo and behold, after slavery was abolished, it was still another 2 years before some states let the slaves know that, 2 years ago, you were actually free then, but we're going to keep you anyway. So the U.S. has got a really interesting history, and it's not just against the blacks. It started out with the American Indians. And they've really gotten the short end of the stick repeatedly got screwed, repeatedly got screwed, and their situation hasn't really changed all that much either. Now, the president actually said, okay, that they should actually slow down the testing so the case count wouldn't go up as much. He said that, okay, twice actually. He confirmed it in a separate interview after the fact. It's like saying you shouldn't be tested, you shouldn't get a pregnancy test because then you wouldn't be pregnant. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? What a surprise. The testing just lets you know what's out there. That's all it does, let you know what's out there. You can put your head in the sand and not test, and then the numbers don't look that bad, but these people are still infected. So it's important to get the testing out there so you can have some idea of what's actually going on, not what you would like to be going on. Which brings me to the thought for today. COVID in sports in 2020. Okay. Major League Baseball officials have been forced to reconsider plans, okay, surrounding a potential return in 2020 after several positive COVID cases and tests impacted the league on Friday. Major League Baseball previously considered a bubble plan in the 2020 season. It now seems that Major League Baseball is temporarily shutting down all the spring training facilities in Florida and Arizona. The revelation comes just after 11 players on a 40-man roster from 7 different teams tested positive for COVID-19 during the month of June. Of those 7 teams tested, 2 are based in Florida. 4 train in Florida. 2 are based in Texas. 4 of them train in Florida. Another one holds spring training in Arizona. It's noteworthy that these states are considered the hot sites, the host sites right now. That's where they were planning on playing the games at in this new bubble league they were talking about before, where several teams would converge in just one central area. Well, now the leagues may be, eyeing Southern California, okay, as a possible destination for all 30 teams. That was before the news came out that Southern California now is the number 2 spot. We'll see what happens with that one. Now, the region has 3 Major League Baseball stadiums. They got Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. They've got Angel Stadium in Anaheim and Petco Park in San Diego, as well as several colleges with really quality ballparks. It's still unclear whether the bubble plan will actually become serious enough for the league to broach with the union. They've been having some problems going back and forth. Money has been the focus of recent discussions between the MLB and the Players Association, but concerns about health and safety issues obviously remain prominent in anticipation of a second wave of coronavirus cases. Now, last week, Dr. Fauci advised the MLB plan to, with really season should end, okay, no later. Pre and postseason should end no later than September in order to curb the risk associated with the second wave. Now, unfortunately, Major League Baseball is already seeing spikes in cases within its own ranks, and it has come well before, okay, any attempt to restart, okay, the full-fledged training camps again. Okay. The development led to a shutdown of all 30 spring training facilities for deep cleaning and reassessment of protocols. Now, Major League Baseball will close all spring training sites in Arizona and Florida for deep cleaning and will not permit players or staff until they pass COVID test. Now, earlier on Friday, at least 5 Philadelphia Phillies, okay, also tested positive. That led the Philadelphia Phillies and Toronto Blue Jays to close their Florida training facilities immediately. San Diego Giants quickly followed, also closing their Scottsdale, Arizona facility after a person who had been at the facility and a family member exhibited COVID-19 symptoms. Now, the Astros also confirmed one of their players tested positive. In Los Angeles, the Angels there, whose home ballpark was going to host the talked about bubble plan, okay, they implemented, they learned that 2 of their players tested positive on Friday. Okay. Camps had just slowly started reopening back in late May. But those reopenings came without strict guidelines or protocols in place. What a surprise. Okay. Now, at this point, the league is looking at a serious, okay, complete reevaluation that may ultimately determine the feasibility of a safe return to the field in 2020, if it's at all possible. With the uncertainty everywhere right now, okay, baseball teams were really already making alternative plans. And Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York announced Saturday that if MLB season happens at all, both the Mets and the Yankees would be holding spring training at their respective home ballparks for the first time in years. That was good news for them. However, that announcement came shortly before the New York Post reported 4 Yankees employees, okay, based in Tampa, Florida, tested positive for COVID-19. Now, the NBA still plans to restart its season in Orlando, Florida, beginning in July. However, there is still growing concern now with the league following up in a sharp rise of coronavirus cases in that state. The NFL is holding firm in its optimism that it's going to start its regular season on time, even as there was a noticeable uptick in players being diagnosed with COVID-19 last week. It was reported that a number of Cowboys and Texans players were diagnosed with COVID, along with members of the 49ers, who also, worked out with teammates in Nashville. Tampa Bay Buccaneers also announced a statement on Saturday that they've had individuals who have tested positive for COVID at their training facility. The NHL has also detected a handful of positive COVID-19 cases since welcoming players back to the facilities last week. Now, on Friday afternoon, the league revealed that 11 players have tested positive for COVID virus after completing the examinations of 200 players since June 8th. The players have been, turned into a positive self-test, have all been instructed to self-isolate and to continue following public health guidelines for safety before returning to team activities. So there it is. You got professional baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, all still pretty much benched for the foreseeable future. College sports, haven't really changed that much either. They're in the same or possibly a worse position because they have even less control over the younger players. Now, almost half the states have an uptick in cases with their 7-day average. This is as they continue to reopen. Chances for another national shutdown are basically zero at this point in time. The president he has really shown, and it shows at the rally, that he wants to just ignore the entire COVID situation completely, like it doesn't exist. It up to the point where you have to sign a waiver in order to get into the rally, so that you're not going to sue him or his campaign. The American people are mentally really not ready for another shutdown. They've had enough, and they're moving on with a new normal as it is, with the social distancing and wearing masks. But it's still absolutely amazing how much controversy there is about wearing masks right now. Just on their check-in today on Facebook, and people are still up in arms about wearing masks. I mean, you wear pants when you go outside, don't you? Okay, but they refuse to wear a mask. I don't understand it. Okay, and wearing pants is just a social thing. Wearing a mask is a health thing. Okay, it's so that you protect the next person. You wear pants so you don't offend the next person. Okay? You wear a mask for the same reason, so that you assume that you're infected and you don't pass those droplets on to somebody else. But the world's gone absolutely crazy here. It looks like the entire world understands the importance and the fact that they're important in transmission and slowing the transmission. Now, if you've been personally affected by COVID, there's no question in your mind that you need to wear a mask. Absolutely no question. However, if you've not been personally affected, you've got tons of reasons, real or imagined, for not wearing a mask. And nothing is about really to change your mind until you are personally affected. Now, despite your personal beliefs, states and local municipalities will end up making the calls based on their local conditions. All those governors that have the states that are reopening, the same way the presidents dropped it to the governors are now dropping it to the municipalities, saying, hey, I'm not forcing you to do anything. You guys make a decision. which is really interesting. And a lot of municipalities are actually shutting things down. They're requiring masks. They're requiring social distancing. Not all of them, but some of them. And you're going to see more of that as things go on. Now, you, okay, as an individual, also need to make decisions based on what's going on in your local area, as well as your personal situation regarding your risk for you and your family. Those decisions should take into account, okay, the COVID situation in your area, you and your family's existing age and health, as well as your financial situation. None of those decisions can be made in a vacuum. You need to weigh all those factors and in the end, do what's right for you. So what's all that mean for you? Nobody wants to work forever because they need the money. Most people want to do something, okay, in their retirement, but not because they need the money. Okay? The long-term goals for most everyone that I talk to is 50 plus is to retire while they're still young enough to actually enjoy it. The real question is it a dream or do you actually have a plan? Dreams are nice and you get them when you sleep. And dreams are very pleasant, generally. However, dreams go away when you wake up. Plans are what you get, okay, when you wake up, okay. Plans are what you do when you wake up. Do you have a plan? If you're 50 plus, you only have a very, very short window of time to make any significant difference in your retirement outcome. If you're 50 plus, do you have a concrete plan to get the cash flow that you're going to need to be reasonably comfortable in your retirement? Now, remember, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. Sounds a little strange, but it's the same thing from Einstein. You keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. It's the definition of insanity. I'm not the first one to tell you that. I'm certain you've heard it by now. If you want something different, you need a new plan. You need to do something that's totally different. Okay. It's really a no-brainer at this point in your life. That 30-year thing of saving $1,000 a month just hasn't worked for you. And there's a reason. Things happened along the way. Okay. A marriage, a divorce, okay, a job change. If you're 50 plus, you've probably changed jobs a dozen times or so by now. Things happen that are totally outside of your control. But now, at 50 plus, you're running out of time. You don't have time to try and build up whatever that's going to happen for 30 years. And again, you get the stock market that crashes every 7 to 10 years. So you've been screwed along the way a number of different ways. So right now, can you get a plan, a new plan that's going to give you the confidence to know that you don't have anything to worry about? You don't have to worry about surviving. You can actually retire and thrive in style. Okay. Now, I may be able to help you get that new plan. I may be able to help you get control of your cash flow and your life. So you have the money you need to retire in just 3 to 5 years. Okay? And never need to worry about the stock market crashing again or working ever again. Now, I can't help everyone, but I may be able to help you. Go to my site, drrousenow.com. There's a 12-minute video there. It explains the program. If you're interested, schedule a call. Don't put it on a to-do list. Schedule it. Put it on your calendar. Schedule a call. And then we can at least talk to see if I can actually help you or not. Again, it doesn't cost anything to do the call. You can't buy anything on the call. The only reason for the call is to see, do you really have a need or not? If you do, can I actually help you or not? And 3, do I think that we can actually work together? Now, please like and share the video. I'll post this on my YouTube channel, The Real Money Doctor, tomorrow. Like it, share it there. Okay. Again, I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, The Real Money Doctor. My only goal is to help you to get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. Now, I appreciate spending some time with you tonight. I'm sorry for the delay. Again, we had some tech issues here. And we finally got things, I think, worked out. I'll find out when we finish up. I think the internet has been stable for most of this show. And again, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow around 7 o'clock or so. Thank you.